Alright, so the whole purpose of percentages is to make comparisons for things that don't have the same denominator, or between quantities when the whole is not the same, which is basically meaning that they have a different denominator. So let's say if I told you that a student got 8 correct on a test, okay, that would seem a lot better than if I told you that a student got 4 correct on a test. Okay, 8 is more than 4, right? But if the student who got 8 correct was taking a test that had 20 questions, that's not a very good score. Okay, 8 correct out of 20 is not as good as, let's say, the student who got 4 questions correct took a test that only had 5 questions on it. So this student really almost got all of the questions correct, and this student did not. Okay, so this would be your better test. All right. So really, using a percent is an efficient way to make a comparison between two numbers with different wholes. Okay, so the whole here is 20, the whole here is 5. All right, the amount correct is only 4, but 4 out of 5 is a lot better than 8 out of 20. Okay, so a couple more examples. Tanya earned $168 setting up new computers for her neighbors. Okay, she spent $43 on software, whereas Juan earned $219 for teaching piano, and he spent 51 of it on new music. Okay, the question is, who spent the larger portion of their earnings? Okay, they both had different wholes of what they earned, and they both spent different amounts of money, so I want to find out who spent the larger portion or percentage of their money. So the way I would figure that out is, it said Tanya spent $43 of her $167 that she earned. Okay, so she spent 43 out of 167. Juan spent $51, so he spent more money than her, but he made $219. Okay, so again, this is the whole. 167 is the whole for Tanya, and 219 is the whole for Juan. Okay, now the number of dollars that they spent was different. Okay, Tanya only spent 43, which is less than 51, but we need to make sure that her portion was less. We're figuring out whose portion was less or more. Okay, so what I would do there is I would then divide out these two fractions, because as I mentioned before, really a fraction again is just kind of like a division problem. Okay, so I would take my calculator and I would do 43 divided by 167. Okay, if I can, 43 divided by 167. Okay, and that comes out to 0.257. Okay, and there's some more numbers, but I'm just going to round it to that for now. Alright, and then 51 for Juan divided by 219 total that he earned, and that number comes out to 0.233. Okay, so what I would do here now is, rather than dealing with decimals for comparing, I like to deal with percents. So if you remember, in order to get a percent from the decimal, you multiply each of them by 100, or really you just move that decimal 2 spots. Okay, so my new number here would be 25.7% versus 23.3%. Okay, so again, this is Juan and Tanya. Alright, so what this tells me is Tanya's portion of what she earned that she spent was 25.7%, and Juan's was 23.3%. Okay, so Juan really spent he spent more total money. He spent $51 versus $43, but the percentage of what he spent from what he earned was less than what Tanya spent.